This is our second Minitab individual assignment video, and in this video we're going to focus more on the report side, the Word document side of the project, the assignment. And so in the report instructions of the individual Minitab assignment, you'll have roughly the same instructions that you have on the Minitab, and you'll want to pay, of course, again, close attention to all of the instructions that are colored, because those will be the most important in order to pass the course and in order to get credit. So you want to read those and then maybe read those a second time, or definitely read those a second time before you submit, to make sure you have done every single one of those things so that you can optimize your grade for this project and certainly for the course as well. And then it says to be sure to use at least 3 significant digits, and at least 3 means you can use more. I think it's best to just go ahead and put all of the Minitab output in there, because you want to be clear that you're getting your answers from Minitab. I want to make it obvious that you're getting your answers from Minitab and not from the calculator. And in the previous video, I showed you how to do every single calculator function in Minitab, so you can not do them on the calculator, you can do them in Minitab. If you want, you can do them in both, but just report the Minitab results, because that's what this assignment is focused on. But that way, if you get a discrepancy or something, you can know, hey, maybe I should shoot the instructor a message and ask her about why I'm getting something different on my calculator than I got in Minitab. So feel free to do that for sure. And so you may want to just report all of the digits, and then you'll always have at least 3 significant ones, and I will know that you know that that's the Minitab results that you're giving me, and that's really what I want anyway. For the report part, much of it is going to be copying and pasting from Minitab and then giving your answer based on that. So let's go back and open up our Minitab, so app.minitab.com, and now we should all be logged in because we've already created our Minitab file and submitted it. At this point, we're just doing the report part, and so again, this is the second video. You definitely want to watch and do the first before you watch and do this one. So file, and then open project, and again, we've stored it to our local computer last time, remember? And so I select OK, and I called it Minitab Demo, that was the name of mine. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave it as Minitab Demo. And let's suppose that I want to copy and paste. Really, the first set of instructions tell us to put the 10 data values that we use to replace. And for you, when you go and look at 1 through 10, yours would have been asterisk originally, so what you're going to do is you're just going to type 3, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 0, 1, 0, 0. Of course, your numbers will be actual ages of college students, so they won't be this low, and it will be the numbers that you surveyed. So you replaced all the stars with these numbers. And then you will have a lot more numbers than I have. I just have 30 total, but you'll have a lot more. And so that'll be your answer to 0. And then you'll go construct a dot plot for your data. I think that's kind of maybe what we had right here. Let me do this. So you can kind of toggle between a mixture or all of the data or all of the output. And for our purposes, I'm just going to go to all of the output, and then I'm going right down here to the bottom right of the Minitab browser window to find that. So you don't have to do that, but it just makes it easier to grab stuff. So do you see this little arrow? I'm going to do the drop down arrow and then copy. And that'll allow me to copy, and then I did Control V, but you could also do this paste up here. And then, so that's my 0 and my 1. One of the sets of instructions, by the way, tells you that you want to be sure to number and letter all of your answers to match the question. So be sure that you're doing that so that you can get credit. And then we would just keep going. I'm not going to keep going here, but notice that for any of these you can click on them. You could click up here and it would copy both of these things. We don't want to do that here, but there may be functions like for your confidence intervals and hypotheses test where you'll want to copy the whole thing instead of this. But you can always choose whether you want to copy the smaller thing or the bigger thing. That's just kind of up to you. As long as I have the essential part of the output, that's what I really care the most about. Of course, also, if you followed the instructions in the previous video and at the very beginning put your name here, then all of your output items are going to have your name on them. So I'll be looking for underscore whatever your name is on all of these outputs. So underscore the name and underscore the name and that sort of thing. And that should all be there as long as you've done everything correctly. And really that's it. Just kind of go through, follow the instructions. Be sure that if it just says copy and paste your output, that's all you have to do. But most of the time it'll ask you a question with that output. So be sure to answer those and be sure to go through it carefully. Construct a histogram. You just have to copy and paste that. State the sample size and copy and paste. So I'm looking for 2 answers. Ideally they're going to match, but you're going to state your sample size, and then you're also going to copy and paste the Minitab output that supports your answer for that sample size. So I don't just want the Minitab output, and I don't just want you to say what the sample size is. I want both in number 4. And most of the numbers will require you to do both. Number 5 also requires the Minitab output, and then for A you'll tell what the Minitab output says the mean is. Even though it's already in the Minitab output, you'll put A mean, and that just lets me know that you are capable of reading the Minitab output and getting the answers from the Minitab output. So for all of the questions, all 12 questions, be sure to read them carefully, and almost all of them will have you not just give the Minitab output, but give something else as well. And so be sure to read carefully so that you give that something else as well. There is a due date for the first draft of this document, and I recommend you go through and do it all, reading the instructions, and submit your first draft by that first draft due date. And then there's a second draft due date, and I recommend that you come back and you carefully read all of these questions and check every one of your answers to make sure that you've given both the Minitab and the whatever else in addition to Minitab it's asking for. Double and triple check. You can double and triple check with the rubric as well to make sure that you are following the rubric as well. I don't have the student view here, so I don't have the rubric shown to you, but on your view, when you see these instructions, when you keep scrolling down, you'll see the rubric as well. And so I would do all of that, and when you do all of that, you will make an excellent score on your 5% of your grade. That is the individual Minitab assignment. I should say as well that Minitab is going to change every single year. So this is 2022, and 2023 in January, it's going to be different. They like to change it every single year. They don't change it a whole lot. So on the first video, when I went through all of the functions, they should change a little bit, but they won't change a whole lot. I doubt this will change very much at all, the copying and pasting. But they like to tweak the functions every once in a while. So do be aware of that. And good luck.